You're listening to the Almost 30 podcast, a lifestyle podcast hosted by Krista Williams and Lindsay Simsick.
Tune in for a new episode every Tuesday to hear our honest conversations about topics like wellness, entrepreneurship, spirituality, and self-development with guests who are really smart, really inspirational,
and really fucking funny. It's real, it's raw, and it's unfiltered.
Inspired by our transition from our 20s to our 30s, we realize it's so much more than that. Our mission is to provide you with the tools, guidance, and motivation to help you navigate any transitions in your life and propel your personal growth.
Thanks so much for tuning into the Almost 30 podcast.
Here we go. This episode is brought to you by
Mend. Mend is the app for heartbreak. So Mend helps people get over their breakup. Heartbreaks hurt, but you don't have to go through it alone. And Mend provides self-care trainings, everything you need to help you through your breakup. What I really love about it is that Elle, the CEO, gives you daily audio trainings where she's there for you. You hear her calm, soothing voice, giving you the advice and inspiration that you need during a time that might be difficult. And then you also get practical tips and community support. So never feel like you're alone. Never feel like you're not supported by people that love you and surround you with the app Mend.
I wish I knew about this, like when I was going through a rough breakup. I love this.
I know.
I'm definitely going to suggest it to people that I know in the wake of breakups.
I'm trying to think if I know anyone. I feel like everyone's kind of always going through a breakup.
It's always like until you find the next person.
Yeah, literally. I always...
Right? I know.
Always have backups.
You know I do. No, but I think this is a beautiful resource for people to turn to. So you can go to letsmend.com/almost30 and you can try out Mend for free. So try it out. letsmend.com/almost30. Let us know what you think. I mean, you know, community means everything to us. So this is just another resource to help you navigate this type of transition. All right, guys, enjoy.
Hey, Almost 30 Nation, it's Chloe Money from the team, the producer of Almost 30 Podcast. And I'm here to share with you a few words about our newest sponsor that I am so proud is representing us and helping us out is Squarespace. Yes, Squarespace, the best website platform to build your website and your career and your business out there. So basically, I've been a digital designer for about a year and I'm only 22 years old. But at 21, I was able to create the best website for myself and learn how to create it from scratch, whether that was creatively, analytically, or just learning the business itself. And Squarespace was there every step of the way. And now my business runs on Squarespace, and we want to help you guys out by helping you excel your business through beautiful designs, their templates, their analytic programs that they team up with Google Analytics for. You can choose your own domain on there, as well as maximize your search engine optimization. So it's a lot of stuff, but at the same time, you're getting everything you deserve while using Squarespace. And now you can use our code ALMOST30 to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. So that's code ALMOST30 to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. So head to squarespace.com and start building your website now.
Excuse me, I'm going to exfoliate my lips on the mic.
Gotta stay exfoliated.
Guys, do you hear Krista? She's
You hear me exfoliating my lips. My lips have been so chapped lately. I don't know why.
I know why.
Tell me.
It's winter.
Are yours chapped?
Uh-huh.
It's not winter here.
But it's like, it is.
No, it's not. That's silly. That is the silliest thing you've ever said.
But my hands are dry too.
My whole body's dry. I'm like
Explain
a
that.
crust ball.
But it's colder than it would be in the summer.
Yeah, I love it.
I love it too.
I love wearing like a sweatshirt and jeans. What are you guys wearing? Just kidding.
Hey guys, it's Krista and Lindsay.
And it's 2018, bitch.
It's 2018 and we are so pumped.
Yeah, man.
So excited. It's like I can't even move. I'm so excited. I don't even know what to do first.
Do you have any resolutions?
No, I kind of like nixed the resolution thing because it almost got not overwhelming, but I would just be disappointed about how I would go about it.
All right, yeah.
So I write out my goals for the year and have them kind of like marked throughout the year. So I want to get this done by this date.
Love that.
Which still feels a little bit overwhelming, but it's more logical to me. And then just being a little bit more intentional about what I'm doing in general. I don't know. I have to journal a little bit more about it, guys.
Same, me too.
Hashtag journaling.
I don't know. I want to eat more burritos. I've been eating lots of burritos lately.
Really?
So good.
What kind?
From Year One, remember? I told you about them.
Wait, the breakfast one?
Yeah. So good.
It's so good. It's warm. I like eating warm things
It's
too.
warm. It's thick. It's soft. Damn.
Justin.
Hello.
Yeah, no, I completely agree.
Eat more burritos 2018.
That's a good one. All right.
I also want to have more magical situations happen. You know, I want to like create those when something happens and you're like, that's fucking crazy in a good way. You know, like a situation happens in your life, like when you're on Mistresses and you're like, you knew you were going to get on that part. You were like, this is happening. I'm going to make this happen. I can feel it.
Yeah.
And it happened. And you know what I mean? It's magic. And you're like, that's kind of a magical situation.
Yeah.
Like I want more magic situations to happen. To be like, where I'm like, whoa, I know that there is a God because of this situation. You know, I know there is a God anyways.
And just being really in touch with like that part of yourself that knows all of those things. Sometimes I lose touch with like that. Like, I don't know if it's intuition. I don't think it's intuition. I just think that there's a part of me that knows a lot more.
Yeah, 100%.
Like a lot more than like my everyday brain is kind of latching onto. So yeah, I completely agree.
You know, I want to like be blown away.
We're on our way.
Yeah.
Guys, we're so excited for 2018. We have so much for you coming at you, whether it's events, we are doing meetups in different cities.
So if you want to be someone that helps us with our meetups and like is a representative in the city, that would be amazing. Email us at almost30podcast@gmail.com. And it would be great if you could help us find the space, if you could help us just organize and facilitate everything and be our point person on the ground for when we come do our meetups.
Yeah.
Also,
what?
Huge news.
Who?
We've got a phone number.
Oh, we have a phone number.
This is huge.
Did you memorize it yet?
Yes. I have it down on my phone. Guys, okay, this is important. We have a phone number where we will be taking phone calls from you.
So when you leave a message, we'll be putting that in an episode.
Yes.
Most likely. So don't say anything you don't want on air, but we really want to hear from you. Any questions you have, anything you want to discuss. It could be light, it could be deep, it could be heavy, it could be whatever you want. We really want to talk to you guys more.
Yeah.
So call us on the number, which is...
Oh, fuck, where's our number? I'm looking through our text.
We should memorize it so that we can make a jingle.
Yeah, let's make a jingle about it.
I remember my room phone number at home.
You had a room phone number?
Yeah.
Slut.
I was a slut. I would talk to like either my best friend for 5 hours at a time.
I got it.
Or like my boyfriend, and we would like fall asleep on the phone with each other.
What was that? Like, why
I don't
was
know.
everyone
Hang up the phone.
What was everyone doing? Like, everyone couldn't be alone.
It was crazy.
You know, like...
I remember like crying, like just like being so
emo. I'm going to laugh at my ass off at my kid. I'm like, you're a loser. Okay. The phone number is 1-424-270-1853. 1-424-27... Fuck, I messed it up.
What the hell?
Okay, sorry, delete all of this. Okay. All right, guys, we've got the phone number. It's 1-424-272-1853. Never.
Are you okay?
Never forget it. 1-424-272-1853.
Whew. Okay, cool. So call us, please. We won't answer. It will go to our voicemail.
Yeah, it goes to a voicemail.
And you can leave a message with questions, comments, anything you want to talk about. And we will answer your question on air. We're so pumped. This is actually like...
It's going to be so fun. We used to do this all the OGs, if you go back and back, we did listener calls, which were so fun. Like I was listening to one the other day We had a caller from Denver talking about this dating guys that were like visiting, and it was just such a good call.
That were murderers. It was crazy.
I had that one.
Yeah, that one.
I actually saved that one so we can put it in the 2017 recap, that call.
Speaking of, guys, this episode is one of 2 episodes where we will be recapping 2017. So all of our guests are so bomb. So we've chosen a handful of guests and conversations that we've had that have really made an impact on us, and from what you guys have told us, an impact on you. So we're so excited to kind of bring all of them together, put it in one episode so you can start this year with a lot of inspiration. And yeah.
And if you're new to Almost 30, this is not really how we do things. Usually we either have Lindsay and I chatting, talking about specific topics, or interviewing some amazing people. But this one is going to do snippets of some of those conversations that have really impacted Lindsay and I. You know, the people that we chose were in no way, shape, or form based on really anything, but the fact that there were just some nuggets that really stuck with us, you know, as we moved through the year, and our community really resonated with some parts and brought those up to us a few times. So we wanted to make sure to just really hit those home with you guys.
Yeah. So this first conversation is with our OG.
Yeah, she put us on the map.
She put us on the damn map.
You always say we wouldn't have a podcast without her.
Kelly LeVeque, everyone. Let's have a moment of silence for Kelly LeVeque. She has, especially in the last year, really blown up.
People are like, you've blown up. I'm like, no, Kelly LeVeque has blown up.
She's blown up and like paved the way for us.
Yeah.
She put out her book.
Starting another book.
Yeah.
On 100 million TV shows.
She's actually starting her own Facebook show.
Oh yeah, her own Facebook show.
Yeah, which is
amazing.
Rad.
Yeah. She continues to work with hot holidays. I honestly should be fired. She continues to work with celebrity clients.
Yeah, that are a lot of celebrity moms to be, which is cool.
Yeah.
So our conversation with Kelly, as you know, will be one chock full of information that you will need to write down. And we are always turning to Kelly. I actually have a consult with her.
You do?
You know, because I'm planning to, I am like balancing my hormones on my own. So just want to
tested?
Just want to cover. No, I have to.
Okay.
Just want to cover the nutritional aspect of it. Make sure that I'm eating for my hormones.
Do you have a regular period?
Not yet. So I was supposed to get it 2 days ago, and I haven't gotten it yet.
Chump change.
But I think it'll be fine.
Normally,
I feel amazing.
Oh yeah, because you're off the PC.
I'm off the birth control.
And you feel amazing?
I feel amazing.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Like my body's doing things that it should be doing.
Like what?
You know what I mean? Like when you go through your cycle, like you're supposed to like, you know, guys, earmuffs, but you know, like different phases of your cycle. It's just, you know.
I feel you, girl.
You're going to see things and feel things. Actually.
You're just like more connected to your body. Like, whoa, we're here.
And more sensitive. It's like really crazy.
Love it.
Into it. Anyway, here's Kelly. Enjoy, guys. So we will be introducing each little conversation. Enjoy this one with Kelly LeVeque. Also de-stress, like kind of break down the process so they can do it.
Make it a little bit easier.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's interesting. A lot of times I meet with a client and I find out either they're trying something like intermittent fasting or they're having a bulletproof and they're not eating till 2, or they're trying, you know, they're making just back to the basics. They're just making a microwavable oatmeal and trying to go about their day, or maybe they got on avocado toast. Whatever the case may be, I'm just trying to simplify one meal at a time. So I always start with breakfast. So sometimes I might just change breakfast the first time we meet and leave them be. And what I'm trying to do is turn off hunger hormones. So a lot of times people will run into Starbucks, grab a non-fat latte and a Kind bar and call it breakfast. And unfortunately, when you look at non-fat latte, non-fat milk is more carbohydrates than whole milk because whole milk has fat in it, right? So it's actually higher in sugar. It's basically if you were to take a whole glass of milk and remove the cream or the fat on top, you'd have to pour in more of non-fat milk, and it's just lactose. It's milk sugar. So it's more sugar in non-fat milk than in whole milk. Which is why we like fat again, right?
Yeah.
And then you look at a Kind bar, and when you actually look at the nutrition facts, it's the biggest thing on there is carbohydrates. And some of them are higher in sugar. They're doing a good job to bring that back down. But there's not a lot of protein and there's not a lot of fat. And those are two things that you need to turn off your hunger hormones. So I'm trying to change the conversation. Instead of going in and trying to have a small bite and see how far you can go without eating again, kind of an anorexic mentality or a diet mentality, I want the opposite. I want you to turn off all the hunger hormones in your body. There are more than one, and they're in different places. There's a hormone called ghrelin that when you eat to satiety, meaning like you're full and satisfied, your stomach actually stretches, that hunger hormone turns off. So if you're just a juice, that hunger hormone's still hanging out going, hey, Krista, like we could maybe get a taco right now.
And it is.
You know? So it is, I really like people to feel confident in the way that they eat. And so I always start with the Be Well smoothie, which is a formula that I created. I have a number of recipes that don't include fruit, but you have to have protein, fat, fiber, and greens. And those 4 things I call my Fab 4. And it's really simple because I have clients who won't have fish, but want steak, won't have turkey, won't want pork, or the opposite. And it's not that big of a deal. You can eat whatever you want as long as it's good quality, but you have to have those 4 things to turn off all the hunger hormones in your body. So don't skimp, don't try to do small meals, don't try to just juice, don't try to just get away with a bar. You can really turn off those hunger hormones. And then if you go 4 to 6 hours without thinking about food, it's a lot easier to eat clean and to have these breaks of time between meals, which we found are really beneficial to the client. So if I get a window of 4 to 6 hours between a meal, not only have you completely digested your meal, but you have a surge of human growth hormone and testosterone that naturally burns away fat, kicks you into fat burning, can create ketones in your body. And it's not an aggressive up and down, where if you were to have a non-fat latte and a Kind bar, all of that really is one big carb that's going to create a lot of blood sugar in your body. Your blood sugar is going to go up and you're going to crash down kind of like a little kid at a sleepover. And it's going to be 10 o'clock and you're going to go, where's my snack? I'm hungry. I can't wait till noon. And then you push it and you try to wait till lunch. And by the time lunch rolls around and a coworker says, what are we ordering? You ordered the wrong thing because you're starving, because your body's in low blood sugar, but you have insulin present. So when blood sugar rises, insulin is that hormone that brings sugar out of your bloodstream and into your cells. But what it also does is it stops fat burning. It doesn't let you access fat for fuel, so you aren't fat adaptive. You're not able to burn your own fat for fuel. You basically dip into low blood sugar. Depending on who you are and your hormones, you could start muscle wasting because your body will start to break down muscle in a low blood sugar state to bring your blood sugar back up and make you feel okay. It's kind of an interesting process, and the science can get really heavy. So
I'm obsessed. I love it.
But think about it. Like if you were trying really hard to eat clean and you're just going to do a green juice, but it has an apple in it, and even the ones that don't have fruit in it, really all it is it's going to break down to glucose. You can look at the nutrition facts and whatever is carbohydrates without fiber. I mean, there's no fiber in a juice. It's not like a smoothie. It's just going to turn to blood sugar. So you have this surge of blood sugar, and it's going to go even faster than that Kind bar and latte, and you're going to crash, and you're going to feel shaky, you're going to feel irritable. Like no one likes to feel that way. And I love my kid sleepover analogy just because there are so many adults in LA driving around on crashing like a kid at a sleepover, and they're just like honking at you and being rude to you, and there's no reason for it. It's like, eat something. Okay.
Yes.
That's so interesting. All right, how good was that, you guys? Isn't Kelly the best?
She's the best.
We love her. So go back and listen to those episodes. We have 2 with Kelly. They will rock your world, and that was just a little snippet. But the next one is a really powerful one that we had with Layla Martin, head mistress of sex. She's the smartest woman. She's so grounded and inspirational. And we had a really, really great, open, honest, and raw conversation about sexuality that we still hear a lot about today.
She talks a lot about like how you grew up affects the way in which you see and portray sex, which was so interesting. Just kind of thinking about our our upbringing and how we view sex in our bodies and like our role in our relationship. So it was really interesting. And we did a deep dive into Layla's upbringing. She talks about the sexual abuse that she fell victim to and how incredible, at least we just like stood in awe. We were like, how the hell did you get through that and make this like your mission, like from all of the pain? And for so long, she was just like at war with her sexuality, her body, like any relationship was a trigger for her. So it was really interesting to see how she got through that. So yeah, this conversation, you know, if you have kids in the car, I don't know if you listen with your kids, if you have kids, but don't.
Please don't.
But this is a really beautiful one. Layla's amazing. You can go and re-listen to this episode, and in the show notes, you can find a way in which to connect with Layla. She has lots of different programs that she's always running, and you can visit her on Instagram, Layla Martin. So enjoy this one, guys.
And studied Tantra for, more than 7 years, but really like went into it for 7 years. It just blew my mind what was possible sexually. Like what I used to think was an orgasm was like nothing compared to what was possible when I used breathing and sounding and connection. And, you know, I feel like in the modern world, there's this kind of thing of like, it's cool to be afraid of intimacy, or it's okay to be kind of shut down, or like everyone's scared. And intimacy is a scary thing, but like everyone craves so deeply sexual experiences where you're just like naked and raw and connected with your partner in the most intimate moments. And so for me, epic sex really captures this idea that sexuality can be for everyone. And I've literally seen that everyone is capable of this, like a multicolored, vibrant experience, kind of like taking drugs, but you don't have to take drugs, like you're sober, but you're having these really intense, magical sexual experiences, and that there are techniques and practices that help support us in actually getting there. And for Legendary Love, it's really this idea that like, you know, we still, as far as relationships go, we still inherited this set of rules from our parents and grandparents, where marriage was really a contract and a relationship was successful if it lasted. Mm-hmm. And that was pretty much it. It's like, did you break up or not? And if you didn't break up, then your relationship was successful. And if you broke up, then somehow you had failed. And it's like, we know this isn't true anymore in our heads, but we're still kind of operating on the old relationship ideals and not really focusing on the amount of love or the amount of evolution that's possible or the amount of growth or the amount of truth that's possible in a relationship. So to me, Legendary Love is really about changing how we do relationships so that it's much more about a relationship is successful if the two people are growing and learning about themselves and experiencing incredible intimacy and depth together. And it's not about just trying to hold it together as long as possible. I also grew up Catholic, and I also had
Shout
that.
Out.
Yeah.
Shout out for that repressed sex. Woo.
Like there's something wrong with me.
Literally. There's that is I remember so many times, even being young, I'm like, this isn't right.
No, exactly. And it was so confusing too, because it like when I sat in church, like I felt the sacredness. Like I felt like I knew the beauty of prayer, and it was so toxic to then be told that like so many parts of me were unacceptable, like to God or to spirituality. So that was a huge turning point in my life as well, was to be able to claim like a spiritual connection while also feeling like menstruation is a beautiful thing, like having sexual passion is a beautiful and sacred thing, like wanting to orgasm as a woman and having an orgasm as a woman is a beautiful and sacred thing. So that kind of disconnect, just like you, I always felt like it didn't feel true to me, and that people were kind of, it just felt like a lot of BS to like shame women and sexuality, and none of it really made sense anyways, that we were all divine creation, and yet like one of our most primal urges or instincts was somehow like dirty or wrong. So I definitely, that was very formative. And my father was sexually abusive when I was young. So I was incredibly sexually shut down. Like I wouldn't even go into Victoria's Secret as like a teenager. Like I would like the idea or the thought of sex was so scary to me. And when I first had my first sexual experience with my first boyfriend when I was 16, I actually went into a state of shock and panic, and like I couldn't speak for an hour. And then after that, the only way I could be sexual for the next 7 years was drugs or alcohol. So I definitely had a very powerful experience of what sexual shutdown in the body do. And I was then also very fascinated. So during that time period, that's when I started focusing on sexuality at Stanford and wanting to learn as much as I could about it. And just having this sense of, you know, even for people who didn't go through that level of intensity, that, you know, even for those of us who are like, okay, like in my head, sex is beautiful. In my head, I want to move on. In my head, I want to have the kind of sexuality that I desire. You know, if you grew up, you know, Catholic or repressed, or even just in a family where it was kind of uncomfortable, we carry that in our bodies and deep in our psyches and our minds, even if we've consciously changed our thought patterns. So I became very interested in what does it take to actually change sexual reality on the deepest layers.
Yeah, and I know a little bit about your story, just following you and watching you, and I think it's so powerful. And it amazes me that you took something that's so painful and something that can ruin people's lives for the rest of their lives in and out of, you know, being intimate or not being intimate. What makes you different? You know, so what made you able to overcome the sexual abuse that you received from your dad and really become interested in it as a passion and a hobby, to bring light to it and to make it something that's centered around love when you were so shamed when you were little?
Yeah. It's a good question. Like, what actually made me different about that? I'm really grateful that I kind of always had a sense, like I grew up in suburban America, and I always felt like something was off, like people weren't being honest with themselves. Like I didn't fully buy into the story around me. And I feel like that was a really huge saving grace. I also chose to do things my own way. So I left school for 2 years and went to India and started meditating and doing yoga. And like, I don't know where that sense came from, but I really had this feeling of I'm going to get through this. Like, I'm going to do this. I am not going to spend my life. Like, it literally feels like a piece of my soul had died. Like something really cold inside of me, like literally had been removed. And it was, you know, it's one of the saddest feelings to feel that way, that like you're supposed to feel alive and you just can't because something is missing. And I just felt so compelled to answer that question, and kind of, to be totally honest, went through like years of just like horror and disgust with our society, that I was like, wait a minute, like 30-40% of children have been sexually abused.
Wow.
And so many women have experienced rape, and men and boys have experienced this too. And why are there not like, you know, safe spaces in every town and city in America where people can go and heal and integrate this kind of pain? Why is it such a silent killer in so many people's bodies and lives? Like, the fact that it didn't make sense to me, I think also really drove a deep desire to create a different reality.
Whoa.
Man,
Did you like that one?
that's a great one.
That was a great one.
Guys with us? Is still there?
All right. So this next one is part of our conversation with Sophie Jaffe, who is the founder of The Philosophy, which is a brand of superfoods. But she is also a yoga instructor. She's a mom. She is a wife. She is, you know, an influencer here in LA, all things wellness, health. Yeah, we love Soph. We had a really cozy, real intimate conversation with
Yeah, it was
Soph.
the
Didn't
best.
expect.
Yeah, it was so fun.
You know, we had never met Sophie before. Obviously, had followed her and watched her from afar for a long time. And it was, you know, you never know when you ask people to be on, and then you meet them for the first time, what they're going to be like are they going to be cool or so? And she was just the coolest.
The coolest.
Down to earth, and made us feel so comfortable and like confident. You know what I mean? She didn't come in with any
She's
airs.
funny and fun.
She's so funny.
Good sense of humor.
So she did like talk about something on the podcast that none of us really expected. It was about her relationship with her husband, the serious challenges that they've been through and really grown through. And today have a really strong, thriving relationship. So this is that part of the conversation. What did you think about it?
Yeah, I loved it. And we talked about like infidelity, coming back from infidelity. So, you know, for everyone listening, this is kind of the relationship part. This is kind of the digging deep, seeing those you're with as a reflection of you and kind of working through challenging times with those you love. So this is a good one.
So I broke up with my boyfriend that was living in my house from high school. Like he moved out from Maryland and was living in my mom and dad's house in Los Feliz. I know. It's complicated, but basically I couldn't shake him. Like I moved to LA to get away from him and then chickened out and was like, okay, come. So he moved his entire world out here. And then I got into UCLA and it was like my way of getting away from him again. And this time I was like, for reals. And then I met a D. And of course, if I wasn't out of love with Keith, I would never have found a D. And I would have never seen him. I would have been in my own little. But I was so receptive and open and ready for change. I was like, please. And like in the first class, I met a D. And yeah, it's pretty profound. And
What's Keith doing?
Keith has a baby mama.
Yes.
And my dad is a cinematographer and taught Keith how to film.
Wow.
So he's filming back at home. I mean, I'm sure he's like the star of Boonesboro, Maryland now. Like,
hell yeah.
Yeah.
Boonesboro.
Like, that's where I went to high school.
What's your mascot?
Boonies? The Warrior.
Okay,
which
cool.
is, I think, officially being changed because it's
Is it?
like Warrior. It's like inappropriate, like Native American.
Like a Native American warrior.
offensive.
Okay, yeah.
I think
it's fine, but you know.
But aren't there other warriors? Like, isn't like a warrior like a soldier?
It could be.
Yeah.
But it's like, I think they're literal,
Logo.
like,
Oh, yeah.
like it's like, like definitely not.
Got it.
Yeah.
Headdress and all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when did you get engaged?
So then a year and a half later, we broke up because he came to my parents' house. I was living back in Los Feliz where the juice bar was after I graduated. And he came to me and just like, I have to tell you something. And I knew like earlier that day, I'm like, oh shit. I had just volunteered in Guatemala, finished school, was like exploring, trying to figure out what I wanted to do. I had no idea what I wanted to do at all. And that really made him uncomfortable. And he comes from a family of doctors and like he had fucked his life up so royally that he was like on the right side of the street. Like I'm keeping my side. Like I can't be around people that are a mess. And I was like too much of a mess because I didn't know what I was doing. Yeah. So I came home from Guatemala and he's like, I need to talk to you. And he came over to my parents' house. We went walking in the hills in Los Feliz. And he's just like, I cheated on you. And it's been going on for a while. He told me all the details. And I was like, by the end of the walk, we had gotten back to my parents' house. I'm like, you've given me no choice. I was like bawling. I was like, you've given me no choice. I have to break up with you. And he was like, yep, I figured. And that was it for almost a year, 10 months.
Wow.
And during that time, his dad got cancer and just like it was crazy. And I was pretty much done. Like in my mind, I was like, okay, well, at the very least, I need to go out and like date other people because I've been with now 2 people in my entire life. And
Did you have any idea he was cheating?
no. And I think, again, like it's part of that same like just trusting. And I think that that's where I get into trouble sometimes, but also would have been better if I was like obsessively upset. Like I thought our relationship was great. Like, and I wasn't like checking on his texts and going on his like messengers and stuff, but you shouldn't have to do that. So yeah. So then about 10 months later, I went to Thailand on a trip with some dude that came in to talk about trust. This like 40-year-old friend of mine was having like midlife crisis and like came to the juice bar, just telling about this trip to Thailand he was taking. Yeah. And he had like a shirt on that said vinyasa. And I was like, cool shirt. I like just started doing yoga. And
You're like, I know what that is.
Oh. What's that? And it wasn't like romantic at all.
Yeah.
But he's like, yeah, you want to come? I was like, sure. He's like, just keep me healthy on the trip. I'm like, done. And I went to my parents and I was like, what do you think? I was like 21 at that time. they were like, trust your instincts. You know, you've got great instincts. And I think that's another thing. Like if your parents are always like, like your intuition gets sharpened, the more you use it and trust it. And your own parents are like, yeah, go with this strange man, double your age, to a third world country alone because I trust you. And I'm like, okay. And that gives me more trust for myself and it gives me more trust for the world. And so, yeah, so I went. It was a really great experience. I actually ended up like kind of traveling alone for the first half and then met up with him. But I thought about a D the whole time and we ran into each other right before I left for Thailand, coincidentally, at a yoga class. And we could like feel each other's presence. It was really creepy. And then he was there and
you like know he's going to be there.
I could feel it. Yeah. And I had never run into him in like the 10 months. And I could feel that he was there. I could feel the energy. So then I went on my trip. I was thinking about him the whole time. And then he wrote me while I was there. And he was like, this is so cheesy. But I saw this mug at Coffee Bean that said, what would you do if you could not fail? And he's like, I would fight to get you back. And I called him immediately from one of those like Wi-Fi, like internet cafes. And I was like, all right, let's do this. We have a lot of work to do though. And he's like, I know. So we agreed to do therapy right away. I mean, I was 21. He was 28, 29. And like from his end, he's like, this is the real deal. I've been in lots of relationships. You know it when you know it. I didn't know. Like that's why that 10-month experience was really important for us to be apart because I didn't know. I didn't feel it in my bones. I had been in one abusive relationship for 5 years and that was it other than him. Yeah, so we got back together knowing this was it. Like, we're going to do this. Started seeing a therapist twice a week, head first, just we're in it. And we're doing everything right. And then after we got engaged, I found I was converting to Judaism.
For him?
For him. I'm half Jewish, so on my dad's side. So the one that doesn't count because it follows the mom's lineage. Yeah, not even for him, but like for his family. Yeah, so we were on our way there and I like had his phone and found some like inappropriate texts, like sexting with some old acting out partner. And I was like, really? Like what the fuck is going on? And so we get there, we're at like this temple, like up at the top of fucking Mulholland. And he like gets down practically on his knees and he's like, this is like, it's kind of like drug addiction, but it's sex addiction. And like, there's meetings for this and la, 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 la. And I'm just like, I'm engaged. I'm 21. Like, I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. And I'm like, okay. And he's a smart man. Like he got himself out of drug addiction. He can drink moderately. He is the smartest person I know. He's there. So I'm like, okay, you seem to have it figured out. You seem to know about these things. Go do that then. You go do that stuff. And I was like, go handle it. But I didn't like see that there was anything that I had to do with it or anything I should contribute or that it was an us thing. It was just like, okay, go get fixed. Like, go get your cast on your leg. Yeah, like, I'm like, bye. Yeah, bye. I didn't attract this, you know? Like, it was just kind of like, this is your shit.
Feel that.
Right? So, yeah. So then he started going to meetings, blah, 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 playing this like game. And he was half in it for sure. But like, it took both of us. And so then there was one other thing. Oh, then I found this whole online account. We were married, pregnant with Kai. We were sober on our wedding night, like did not have sex because that was part of his protocol for him to heal from the sex addiction. So did not have sex on our wedding night, which again, like it's one of those things you hear like fairy tale things like, yeah, and then you like the best night of your life. Like whatever. We had sex a million times and had great sex. Like, what does it matter? It doesn't matter. The wedding was amazing. His dad was there.
I
like,
probably won't have sex on my wedding
It's nothing.
night.
I was tired. I was like, get off me.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
we're
gonna
good.
be tired
the rest of our life.
I'm
like,
good.
Yeah. Or like you party with all your friends and like, it's not about
100%.
Yeah. We can do that tomorrow night because we already live together.
Yeah.
Not the 50s.
Let's call it a night. It's not the 50s, literally. I'm like, I'm taking off my chastity belt. Tonight is the night.
So yeah, like we've been through so much and we're building back. And then this was like the third and final thing. And I found this whole secret online life of just like a fake email address. And like, I was just like digging and found it all. And that's so not me. I'm not the type of person that needs to dig and like is curious about these things. And I just want to believe that everything's good. I'm doing what I need to do. You do what you need to do. And Yeah. So it was like called Ashley Madison. Have you guys heard about this? Yeah. Ashley Madison.
Didn't it get shut down?
Yeah. It did. And he had an account on there, and he had not actually cheated physically, but like emotionally. Like I'd be in the shower and he'd be like, "What's up, girl?" So yeah.
Isn't that crazy? Because then you're literally like, okay, so this happened Tuesday, 4:15 p.m. I was making coffee. He was sitting at the computer, that motherfucker.
Yeah.
You like play back every situation where you were. It's like the worst.
Yep.
And you're like, that bastard, we just made out.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
like that was the first time we had sex in 2 months.
Yep.
Like, really? That's and you like 5 minutes before, like that's what got you hot? Like, or whatever it was, you know? Like, it's crazy. I mean, I don't even remember who that girl is that like went through all of that. I remember being cracked the fuck out all night long with like his laptop, like in the living room, just like searching, looking for something, you know? And
if you look, you're going to find.
It's like an addiction.
It became an addiction.
I was in a relationship with cheating and like would find other stuff. And it's like a dog with a bone. Like you find one thing, you're rewarded. You get that dopamine. You're like, fuck, find another thing. I go to the phone again, find another thing. Go to here, find another thing. Go to here, find another thing. And you can't stop.
It's crazy making.
It's
crazy making. And then I'm perpetuating it. So I remember like I can see myself as that person, but I don't remember what it felt like. And I was pregnant with Kai, so 8 years ago. And then it was just like I took my ring off. I was like, you are a piece of fucking shit. Like, who are you? I'm making our child. I like Googled abortions. Literally, I was like, is it too late to get an abortion? Like, and I secretly was hoping that it was too late, but also was like, I'm going to Google this shit right in front of you and like read it out loud. And yeah, it was just crazy. And then he went through an outpatient sex addiction protocol. And that was amazing. And he met there, an intern there, who's now been our therapist for 8 years. And he was his therapist one-on-one for a while. And then he was so amazing that I was like, I want to go in there with you. And like, I want to hear the things he's saying. I want to be there. This sounds like he's really amazing. And luckily the guy was like, okay, you can bring her in. So I went in a couple times and then he became our couples therapist. He stopped seeing him one-on-one. And we still go in for like oil checkups, whatever, oil changes. But he's amazing. We've turned a lot of our couple friends onto them, including my own stepmom and my dad have seen him. And he's amazing. When you find the right therapist and the right person that can really resonate and make changes in your life. And we also started going to couples meetings. It's called RCA. It's like recovering. It's like an AA meeting, but for couples that want to be together and stay together that have been through sex addiction or love addiction. And so we've done that every Sunday for 8 years. Like I waddled in there 9 months pregnant. I remember the phone call truly like it was yesterday with one of the women from there. Like I was driving down Sunset, super pregnant, like belly on the steering wheel and like feeling gross and feeling like, everything. Like it's bad enough being 9 months pregnant. Truly, like no one, whoever, you're a liar if you say otherwise. And then on top of it, my husband couldn't have sex with me, didn't want to have sex with me because he was so shamed, so embarrassed, so disgusted with himself that he didn't want to touch me because he was a piece of shit. So like this horrible cycle. And then we were terrified of each other. Like once, like a few months after I had Kai, like we didn't even know how to have sex or be intimate because it had been so long. So we had to start back at square one, like have these little intimacy exercises. And so we've completely been through so many different phases of our relationship. And over the last 8 years, between like these couples that are just amazing and the most inspiring humans ever, they have been there for us like family. And then also just really like being honest about my experience and not being ashamed of talking about it out loud and telling my mom and telling, and Adi had to be okay with that. Like I'm like, this is part of my processing is that I have to talk about it and be honest. I'm not going to show up like dry my tears and put on a happy face for the people in my life. It's, there's two choices, like the people that have miscarriages. You either don't tell everyone you love that you're pregnant in case you're going to get a miscarriage, or you're someone like me that's like, hey, I'm pregnant, everyone, because I'm going to need you when I miscarry. And I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to come in screaming or crying, and I'm not going to be able to lie about it or hide it. So that was my experience with him. And that was terrible. It was the worst. I don't wish that upon like my worst enemy. It's the most convoluted, weird addiction in the whole world. And But we are on the other side now, and it was a blessing, and it really was like the best thing that could have happened to us. I wish it didn't have to happen like that, but we are so close now, and we have the most kick-ass relationship now. It's like the hottest, most amazing, exploratory, trusting, like fun. It's amazing. And I needed that. I needed to go to like those depths because I was prudish. I was afraid. I was like, I attract addicts. I attract narcissists. There are certain things about me that I needed to look at. And I didn't realize that the first 2 times. I was like, okay, go figure out your shit. And then when I stepped into it and like 9 months pregnant, had that conversation with the woman from the RCA meeting, it was like, okay, like this is us.
We interrupt this episode to bring you a word from our sponsor,
Lola.
Lola.
Surprise. I am on the rag.
Oh, you're on the rag?
I'm on the rag. Thanks for listening to the Almost 30 podcast. We're here to talk about being on the rag. But
where the fuck does that come?
We're disgusting. I don't know where that comes from. I think they used to use a rag.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Thank you for using your brain. That didn't, like, literally, that's like pretty common sense.
They used rags because they didn't have Lola. So Lola, Lola, Lola is a organic tampon that is made of 100% natural cotton. So if you guys didn't know that, after they started using rags, they started to use bleached tampons that were terrible for your body. So if we think about what we're putting in our mouth and being conscious about our health and wellness, you need to think about your feminine care. So Lola has got your back. And that's why I love them, because it's all natural. There's no fragrances, there's no dyes, there's no toxins, and you can use it for your once a month needs and feel really good about it.
Be an advocate for your vagina.
Yeah,
just in everything you do. Like if
you.
We're so worried about like the skin products, what we put in our bodies, like, or like, ingest, but now like be aware of what you put in your vagina. The FDA does not require brands to disclose a comprehensive list of ingredients in their feminine care products. Did you know that?
Can't trust the gov.
Can't trust the gov. So trust us.
Can't trust the gov.org.
Okay, so for our listeners, you can get 60% off your first order by visiting mylola, mylola.com, and you can enter the code almost30. So 60% off your first order, mylola.com. Enjoy, everybody. You're going to love these tamps. This episode is also brought to you by Beachbody. I've been doing it. It's so the holidays, like for me, I'm literally every time I go home, all the classes are booked. I forget that like the suburbs are a place where people,
You don't leave.
literally, they're just like, Orange Theory every day.
Yeah, Orange Theory every day.
My mom does bar like 5 days a week. I'm like, Mom, that's too much.
That's amazing.
But Beachbody has been my savior right now because I can just do it in my living room. It's been awesome. It is an online fitness streaming service that gives you unlimited access to a wide variety of really effective world-class workouts. The trainers are amazing, and you can personalize it to meet your fitness and nutritional needs because they provide nutritional content, whether it's like little cooking shows, recipes. They provide the Shakeology and all of that is a part of it too. It's like a one-stop shop. So easy. And like hundreds of thousands of people are like loving it and seeing results. So for our listeners, which is really exciting, you can claim a free trial membership by texting almost30, ALMOST30. It's all one word, no spaces, to 303030. And you can get full access to the entire platform for free. So again, text the code almost30, ALMOST30 to 303030, and you can get full access to this platform. It's really, really awesome. Right now, just as a side note, I'm doing P90X, which is like TBT to my
TBT.
Oh,
I
my
did it in
God.
college.
It's amazing though. But like in college, I didn't do it full out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's hard to do. It's hard.
It's very
I didn't do full
hard.
out because I was hard.
I would also like bang my
I still like the yoga.
elbow on the.
I like Beachbody yoga.
Oh, Beachbody yoga is amazing.
I like to do yoga like at home, like when I can. So I've been using Beachbody for things like yoga and then the cooking because I need to learn how to cook. So I love it. So I know you guys will too. So text that number, get started, and tell us which classes you love.
All right. Enjoy.
Yeah.
Okay. This next conversation, it's really good. I have a lot to say about it.
What do you want to say? I'm
Well,
all ears.
I was silent because I was actually thinking that this year we're going to have more episodes about money, finances, saving, Bitcoin, like just learning more. I'm so guilty of purposely not learning more about how to save, invest, how to manage my money. It's scary to me and I don't want to deal with it. So this year I am vowing to really get dirty and learn. So this conversation with Heidi Stevens was our first of this kind on the podcast.
Manifesting the amount of money you want in your life and kind of thinking about blocks that you have with money. What is the internal conversation that you have regarding money and where does it come from? So we talked about any blocks that you have in your life that could currently be keeping you from living financially the way you want to live, it was really great. So it was a really great, open, honest conversation with Heidi, who is a life coach. She helps people to really elevate their business, and especially for creative entrepreneurs and females to earn what they should be earning.
Yeah.
So enjoy
this.
Yeah, I was just thinking about, so when we're talking about women and men, and I guess more specifically women to our listeners, how do you see a fear of wealth or a fear of money manifest in women? So women that you coach, how are you seeing them being afraid to talk about money or being afraid of money? Like, how do you see that?
Right. So then the other part of it is that I think that there's a taboo around saying that you want to make it. It's like actually saying the words, I want to bring in $8,000 a month or $12,000 a month, or you know what?
Like $400
I want to kick ass and make $200,000 this year. When I meet the women that I coach and I look at their talent, their following, their Instagram feed, et cetera, and then they tell me what I'm like, so many times I'm blown away. I'm like, what? You're making $30,000 a year and scraping by day in. Like, how is this happening?
You're like, you're in Bora Bora.
Yeah.
You're like, wait a second.
Yeah. And so looking at that, and then, maybe I'll have a face-to-face conversation with them and say, why aren't you bringing in six figures every single year? And how I see that like feeling come up inside of their body, it's like it's hard to even imagine.
Are they like playing small too?
So playing small and just afraid of what that even looks like, and not even like willing to dream. Not even willing to dream. And so raising your wealth consciousness to me means bringing up like your vibration around money, getting clear on what your desires are, asking for what you want. And when I say asking, it means really connecting with the more soulful part of you, which a lot of my clients are, spiritual, but they don't always relate money with spirituality. It's like this kind of thing that's on the side.
100%.
Yeah.
Because like Jesus was poor, and like humble and like stuff like that. So it's like people kind of see saintliness with like humbleness, like Buddha, you don't really have.
Well, Jesus also stepped out from among us and was
anything
crucified.
you say right now, I have no idea if it's right or wrong. So you could take anything.
Well, I'm actually not super well versed in the Bible. What I do know is that he was crucified on the cross, right?
True.
For 10 years in Catholic school, and I don't know
Have you
either.
seen the guy in Santa Monica that walks around with a cross on his back?
No.
It's like a giant cross and it's on a wheel. It's on wheels. The back's on wheels. He like
So
walks
he's
around
really
with it
not
on his back.
carrying
Me and Justin are like, you're not actually carrying it.
But I think like, spirituality, people kind of like file it under woo-woo, and it's something maybe they do like to be like a better person or kind of just like make them more worldly, and they don't connect it. I don't think they practice it in a way where they actually see the results. Results sound so clinical, but I mean, when you actually see what happens when you start to manifest and visualize and meditate, it's a game changer. And I don't know why there's like you said, a separation.
Well, I also had a belief for running for a really long time that I either could be financially successful or spiritual. and there wasn't an option to have both.
It's interesting.
I love that. I sometimes say, like, sometimes when people ask me, like, what my goal is, like, blah, blah, I'm like, I want to be a millionaire. And I literally tell them that, like, I want to be a millionaire.
Amazing.
And people, and I have a lot of other blocks with money, but I say that, and people's responses are like their faces are very surprised.
I
like it's almost
love
like gross.
that you own that.
I do. I want to be a millionaire, and I will be a millionaire.
You absolutely will be.
I want that. But it's weird because then people probably think something of me. Like if I say that actually to some people in my life that I'm close to, it's like, I want to be a millionaire. They're like, okay, well, she is materially motivated or something like that. Like they think it's material, but it's really not, you know?
So do you feel like you feel judged when you say that?
Yes.
And I think that's why people don't say it.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, with your clients, do you prompt them or coach them to be specific and say it?
Oh, yeah.
Because
we get into the weeds and details with that.
What is, just kind of going back to you, what was your limiting belief about money before, I don't know, we'll go to the turning point in your career, but at that point, you know?
So it's still one that I work with day in day out. I really have a belief that you have to work really, really hard for money, and that it has to be, that it sometimes has to be hard.
Like painful and hard.
And that was my experience for about a decade. And so the belief that we really can be anchored in our feminine and anchored in our intuition and anchored in our spirituality and be millionaires is still one that I'm working with day in and day out. And I too, I share with my friends, I'm actually going to build a badass coaching business and make millions of dollars and be anchored in my spirituality and my femininity. That wasn't my experience on how I made my first $1 million. Yeah. So it runs deep, right?
Yeah.
It's like we have our experiences, and
We should all talk about how we got our first $1 million.
Yeah.
You start. I'll go last.
I'm still laughing.
I know. Me too.
So this next one, we chatted with one of my dear friends, Ryan O'Flanagan. We went to college together. He is a comedian here in LA, has been grinding for the last 8 years. We're actually having him back on the podcast coming up. So stay tuned for that because he has blown up in the last year. But our conversation, what do we talk about? In this little snippet, we talk about the weird gym encounter he had. So he would go to Gold's Gym, I think it was. Was it Gold's or something? And like this hilarious interaction he had with this guy over a course of like a few weeks. And it was just so drawn out and funny.
We keep you learning and we keep you laughing.
Yeah. We love Ryan. You can connect with him. Actually, find him on Funny or Die. His Overexcited Tourist is one of the most popular videos this past year. He's on the homepage all the time, so check him out. And he's also on American Vandal right now, the hot new show on Netflix. He is the cool teacher. It's the one about drawing dicks on cars.
Yeah.
Right. So funny. So fucking funny. All right, enjoy this one.
Well, we were talking about the gym. Hey, health and wellness.
Yeah.
There you go. What's your tips?
So what? I don't have any tips really. But so I go to the gym and I go every day just about. And I met a man. This is so weird that I'm saying this right off the bat. This is such a story. It's one of the bigger stories in my life as of recently. But there's this man. I won't say his name, but he's this. Oh, it's like mid-40s Australian man who's very friendly, and we always go to the gym at the same time every day. He always says hi to me, and like we're just do like awkward small talk. I'm not like a cool guy. I'm just like an awkward dude, but I'm polite enough, and I say hi to him every day.
Just because you see him every day.
I see him every day. It's like we kind of have a rapport.
Yeah.
Then one day we're doing legs. We're doing legs next to each other.
Oh, next to each
blasting
other.
the legs. And then he comes up, he says hi, we're talking about the holidays. This is like January, And then he walks away, and he comes back, and he goes, and I can't do the accent, but he goes, "Hey, do I make you uncomfortable when I talk to you?" And I was like, "No, man, don't think so. I mean,
I am now.
I guess.
Yeah,
like,
that's me normally.
I was like, yeah, I'm just like a shy guy. I don't know. Sorry if I seem uncomfortable. And he's like, yeah, you're just this little weird. I was like, yeah, sorry, dude. I'm just like a weird guy. He's like,
He's like, and you're a little you know, short.
He's a little ugly.
Just keeps going.
But so he walked away, and that shook me to my core. Yeah, I guess I'm just like an awkward. I look uncomfortable.
You're like, even strangers know.
I just seem uncomfortable. So that was like, whatever. That was like 5 months ago or something.
Mm-hmm.
And so then it's probably about a month ago now. He comes up, and we've since then kept saying hi, and I thought it had blown over. And I try to just be friendly and not awkward as I can be.
Totally.
Then one day, about a month ago, I'm doing abs. You guys know abs.
Oh, I know abs.
I know abs.
Doing
I don't do them, but I know
I'm on the ball. I'm on an exercise ball, which is on a fake grass area. I'm on this ball. So I'm like, I'm horizontal. And he comes and he stands next to me, and he's just kind of standing looking at me. And I give him my wave, just like, hello. But he doesn't leave. He's just still looking at me. And then he goes, I have to have an uncomfortable conversation with you. I'm like, okay.
It's like your balls are hanging out of your shorts. I've been looking at him for an hour.
To let you know. So he lays down on the fake grass, lays down next to me, and he's super emotional. He's looks like he's on the verge of tears, and he goes, "I just want to let you know." He's like, "I've been happily married to a man for 17 and a half years, through the half in there."
Through the half
in there, and he's like, "I don't want you to think that I'm hitting on you, but it seems like lately you've been avoiding me, or you're uncomfortable around me." And I'm like, dude, I swear I don't think about you. I am not avoiding you. And he's so upset. And he's like, I mean, if I'm just trying to be nice to someone at the gym and they're so uncomfortable that they're avoiding me, that makes me sick to my stomach. He said. And I was like, dude, I swear I'm not avoiding you. Does it seem like I'm avoiding you? He goes, honestly, yeah. I see you walking away from me sometimes. And I'm like, dude, I don't see you. I don't look. I just zone out and I think about Game of Thrones. I'm not thinking about you. Then he's like, I have a plan. Here's my plan. I'm like, oh, Jesus.
Oh, my God, I'm involved in your plan. No.
He goes, I have a plan. He goes, and he's Irish, and I have an Irish last name. And he goes, as a couple of Irishmen, why don't we go to a pub?
Do something real straight.
Yeah.
He's
right?
only eat potatoes for 3 months.
He goes, let's go to a pub, get a pint. And you won't be so uncomfortable. I won't be so paranoid. Just have a pint at a pub. I say, dude, totally. I'm like, abs, just go away.
You're feeding this man's
totally.
narcissism.
Yeah. But he's like, when he's like, you want to go today? And I was like, no, I don't want to go. I had nothing to do that day, but I was like, I can't today. So I was like, then I'm going out of town. I'll be back in a week, and I'll hit you up in a week. We exchange numbers and stuff. So now he's got my number and all that. So then he leaves, and I continue working out, moving on to, let's say, tries.
Ooh, abs and tries. Interesting combo.
Classic combo. So I'm stressing out. I'm like, man, I gotta hang out with this guy.
Now you can't go to the gym for a week. Did you really? Were you really going away?
I really was going out of town.
Oh, okay.
But I was going home, and I want to see my family and have fun. I don't want to be stressed about having to hang out with this guy. So I'm like, I need to just hang out with him today.
Yeah.
I need to just get this over with. So I'm like, I text him. It's half an hour later. I text him. I'm like, dude, you know what? Thought I had plans today. I actually don't. Let's just go get a pint today. With the idea of let's just get this over with. He's all right, let's go. We go to this this really shitty, a Hollywood Boulevard bar.
It's called O'Finnigan's.
Yeah, it's called Jameson's.
Jameson's, obviously.
It was just this shitty, touristy bar, and we went, and we had a wonderful time. We just rode out.
Wait, really?
We just talked, and it wasn't weird. Just 2 hours, and then I cut it off. He wanted to get another drink. I said, I have to go.
Yeah, 100%.
I have to go home.
Those plans started again.
And so we went, yeah. So I left, and I was like, all right, that was good. I think I don't know if that was like a date. Like, I don't know what just happened.
You like leave. You're like, am I gay?
I'm like, yeah, what? And then I get, and it was fine. Then he texted me. He goes, hey, thanks for the drinks. I said, hey, thank you for the drinks. And then he goes, and then he, I'm just trying to, keep it cool. And he sent me a real weird text. Let me know what you think of this. He goes, well, it's a two-part. First, he goes, I like the cut of your jib, sir, and I would like to be friends. And then I said, dude. I said, dude, we are friends. We just had a full-blown boys' day.
Yeah.
And then he goes, I don't know if full-blown was the best choice of words, given the delicate context of our gathering. Like, what? And then I just said, ha-ha.
Totally.
I didn't know what to say to that.
H-A-H-A or ha?
I think I did H-A-H-A with an H at the end, which is like,
Yeah.
kind of like a scoff.
Yeah, it's like,
Whoa.
Yeah. And then
gays love like quips like that too, where they can make sexual like responses of being like full blown, like full blown.
I was like, how did I not catch that?
Yeah,
why did I say full blown?
He's like,
Yeah, he was pumped about that.
So wait, when was this?
This was like a month ago, and then I saw
So
him
are you
again.
friends now?
We're friends. I mean, he saw me in the gym. He wants to like write
Too much pressure,
work on it.
dude.
I don't know.
I
It's
would
just-
never go to that gym again. I literally wouldn't. I would never go
But
to the
he
gym.
has-
Or at that time?
Yeah.
He wanted to then like write a show with me. He emails me and this idea, and I just kind of like turned it down. I was like, I'm sorry, I don't want to do this. And then
What's the idea? He's the gay guy meets this guy at the gym.
I don't know. It hits a little close to home. You know? But he and then since that was like 2 weeks ago, and since then he started going to the gym at a different time. He started going real early in the morning. Didn't explain why, but he
So
told me
he
he's like,
did
I'm
it.
going to the gym at a different time.
You have to sit him down and be like, I feel like you're avoiding
dude,
me.
yeah.
Literally.
We're going to grab
So-
another pint.
Talk
let's
about it.
this.
Whoa, dude.
So I'm gay.
So I'm gay.
This is an Almost 30 exclusive with Ryan O'Flanagan.
I
Dang.
just to not avoid somebody.
Do you
I
feel
just had
happy
to
that you
turn
don't see
gay.
him a lot now?
Yeah, for sure. It's a lot of pressure. Yeah, I just don't. It just makes me,
People.
But
are
is that weird of me that I went on the gay date?
I think that's amazing.
No, I think it's great.
I think it was the right. Yeah, it's a great story, but was it the right? Would you have?
Well, as long as you were in a
Would I
public
have- what
place,
would
I
I
feel
have
like if you went
done?
over to his place, you know what I mean? Like it was
Yeah.
very safe.
Yeah.
You had a pint.
We had a pint. We had
Wait,
a
what did you
couple-
talk about?
Like our families and
Like, what would-
gay stuff.
Like, what's his job?
He's a writer.
He's a writer,
He's a gay writer,
a grader.
and he I don't know. He's like smart and nice.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
he hot?
He just made it weird.
He's a good-looking guy. For he's like a what would you call it? Silver fox.
Yeah.
But he's telling me the stories like he passes by homeless people and he gets to know them to such a degree that he'll buy them like Christmas presents and stuff. Like he just like wants to know people, I guess, and can't stand people avoiding him. So I don't know. But then that kind of comment about the full blown was like, are you
Full-blown
friendly
makes
or
me so
are you
happy.
trying to?
Full blown makes me so happy. I just like that kind of thing. It's like, yo, like the world does not evolve around you. When it comes
Yeah,
up to you, he's like,
right.
God, I know you've been avoiding me, and I know you're like stressed out whenever I'm around. It's like, no, dude, I actually literally haven't thought about you one time since
And I
we
haven't
last
seen you.
talked. Yeah.
Yeah, but he's like it, But I've told this story to a lot of people and gotten mixed reviews. I'm like, why would you go out with him? That was
I
clearly-
would too, because I'm like
Yeah.
I'm like a people pleaser. I don't know why.
Yeah, right.
Like I'd be like, sure,
why not?
I don't want to do this. Like, why do I do stuff I don't want to do?
Yeah,
You didn't want to do that.
yeah. I did
But
not.
then,
at
like,
all.
what are you going to be like? No.
I say no, and then I got to see him every day after
And
that.
then he's going to be like, okay, I need that. It was really for him why you're doing that. So he could feel better about
Yeah.
feeling uncomfortable.
I think he does, but now he goes to the gym at a different time.
Now he does.
Who knows?
Are you still with us?
We're going to leave you with some clips from some of Krista and I's, from me and Krista's. Yeah, the English on that was so bad.
Setting expectations for the next clips.
Truly. Our early days
These are just some funny little tidbits from the early eps. So if you haven't listened, make sure to go back.
Go way, way back. We started, just a reminder, we started on our closet floors on this like janky little recorder. It was.
Yeah, actually, it was a janky little recorder. It was like a recorder that like reporters take when they like interview people at diners.
100%.
Very weird. Enjoy. This is hilarious.
This
and
is
we'll
it.
see you at the 2017 recap, episode 2.
Yeah. Stay tuned. It's in 2 days. Love you guys.
Love you.
Enjoy.
Bye.
You're like, I'm still wearing that.
That's my
I was
outfit
still
every
in
day.
style then. Were you wearing that?
I don't remember.
That's like a very. I feel like I never wore workout clothes until Lululemon came around. Was that?
I think I was wearing
that
it because I
college?
wanted to show like a little midriff and like
100.
wear tight pants.
I wore this like BB.
I don't think I worked out.
Tank top, and it was like BB and bedazzle, and these like bell bottoms. I remember I was waiting at the window for this like height, or I was in 8th grade, and the kid was a senior, so that shows how much of a fucking loser this kid was. And I'm like waiting in the window, and my parents are like, "What are you doing?" Because I'm literally like my gut is like out, and I was like, "Nothing, guys." I closed the door to the kitchen. I like ran out the back in my BB top, my stuffed bra. My bra was like filled with like
What was it
Beanie
like
Babies.
Oh, you stuffed it with
Fuck yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, it was like so awkward.
Remember
My parents were like,
when
what are you doing, you clown?
Did you ever get the 3-inch padded bra from?
Or the ones with liquid in it. Remember those?
Oh yeah.
Dude, one time in 8th grade, my 2 friends, they like pulled me into the bathroom. We're like, they're like in the large girls' bathroom, like, "Hey girl, we don't know how to tell you this, but like everyone is talking about how you stuff your bra."
But I automatically thought I was wrong, but I was like, oh, it's a green light. But I was like, I almost hit a homeless guy, and
He wants to be hit.
he wants to be hit.
I know.
I know.
So you should have did it.
I like
Have you seen, like,
reversed.
the homeless, there's sometimes a homeless man that sometimes sits at Rose and Pacific, and he stands in the middle of traffic and he like leads traffic, like he's like doing it himself, like he's a light, and people like to fucking take it seriously. He literally has like dreads down. He's dirty as fuck, and people are like slowing down. They're like,
Good for him.
I know, right? I love him. He's
That's
like, gotta
a
go to
purpose.
work today. He like, but it's funny. He's like faking the worst job in the world. Like the worst job in the world is to be a traffic person, and he's like faking like that. Like it's not even like his job. I'm like, that's literally the worst.
God. I don't know. Like I just have such a ravenous motherfucking appetite. I always
yours
have,
is, like-
always will. No, but I've even before I worked out for a living, always hungry. And just always, like, if food's in front of me, I have to finish the whole thing.
Yeah, same.
I don't know where that comes from. I didn't grow up in the Depression, but...
I know.
But my mom's like, no, I'm full.
Yeah,
I don't register full.
same.
I
like,
say
I'm not moving
full,
fast enough.
and I'm also...
I'm like, but this is fun.
But this is... Yeah.
I'm like, I know you're full, but
was
this
like,
is
you have-
really fun that we're doing.
There's a lot of girls right now. I'm like, shit, am I a caker? You don't.
It's going to be one of our quotes on Almost 30 Instagram.
It is. Yeah, she a caker. So
I understand why they do it, but yeah, you don't.
Yeah,
you know,
no, you don't.
it's more
So
about shirt
underdone.
protection, so
Yeah.
go under.
Okay.
feeling that. Okay. She talks baby talk in bed.
Oh, damn. You're pulling up. Did you write some extra ones? These are good.
Yep. But I didn't tell you because
Are
I
you
knew they were
exploring your own relationship? Go.
Yeah. Baby talk in bed. I couldn't think
Or
of it.
anything like Asian porn star.
Oh.
Asian
Funny
porn
that you
star.
say that.
No, my friend Courtney used to...
Asian porn star go
Or they're
on.
like, oh yeah, fuck me. Like, fuck me.
Oh.
No?
Oh.
Yeah.
Here, so
When you put it like that,
it's baby talk always? Always?
Yes. Only does baby talk
every
in
time?
bed.
That's
Yep.
a
Okay.
that's a no. That's no.
yeah, every time, no.
But like once? Like, what is it?
Oh sure. Yeah. No.
Once, yeah. maybe
No,
from
every
twice.
time.
No. Characters, skits, whatever. Keep it
Whatever,
fun,
whatever.
keep it light. But as soon as this, if you know, oh, you guys aren't doing skits now. You're not,
should.
You guys haven't had the French maid and the businessman comes home early. Is that what you're saying?
Babe, the doors, you lock the door. Can you
Yeah.
unlock the door?
Yeah.
And I mean that reverse, by the way.
All right, start
Justin's
it
the
again.
French maid and you're the
Yep.
businessman. Come home early.
Come on, Daddy.
Yeah, you can
So
over
no.
baby. You can over baby.
For
You can
sure.
overbake
Yeah.
it easily.
So no.
It's almost
So
emasculating.
is that a deal breaker?
Little baby boy.
Would you?
Every time?
Yeah. Every time it's deal breaker. Yeah. Yep. I agree.
I would literally have no issue going like, she had baby voice every single time. It had to end. And then you would probably be like, yeah, no, you got to end that.
She's like, oh, looky. This is so cute.
Boy, actually, go on. That's working. Do it again.
She only eats kiddie meals when you go out to eat. She only orders from the kiddie menu every time you go out to eat. And whenever she buys groceries, she's eating Ritz crackers, grilled cheeses, chicken nuggets,
hot
pasta.
dogs.
Yep, she only
So it's not about the portion, it's the like age level
yep,
of her
she's
food.
only eating meals for children.
I'm into that. I say put in the bagel bites. Get some little seasoning.
I'm not buying that for 2 seconds. This dude is one of the healthiest adult eaters. He's like, if my salad's got extra salad on it, then it'll taste a little better. So I put more salad on it.
No.
I'm falling asleep watching Justin
I ate
eat.
off the kids' meal until I was like 15, dude. So that's a turn on.
Because it reminds you of you as a 15-year-old boy.
Exactly.
My 15-year-old stuff would fuck the shit out of you.
I have a buddy back in Utah who actually like keeps me up to date on the Taco Bell stuff. He'll be like, listen, they got a new thing out. It's the Volcano Double Nacho Fire Sauce Burrito. And you dip it in your Mountain Dew now. And he'll like tell me new things that he'll come up with. He'll be like, so when you buy 2 of them, you take out the patty in one, layer them, and you've got a double chalupa chalupa. And I'm not joking. He'll actually send me snaps. He'll be like, so this one I dipped cheese into the Coke. And then I sucked. I don't know where I'm going. But he does some crazy concoctions, and he keeps me posted. T-Bell for life.
Hell yeah.
The bush?
Yeah, let's do it.
Oh, man.
Get both palms
George
on the
W.,
table.
were you fans?
I knew that's where he's going. I knew, thankfully.
Yeah, but I mean, not obviously. If the bush is revealed after a few weeks of like great dating and you're like so excited, deal breaker, or do you have a conversation, or do you make a funny comment to give her a hint?
Yo, what about that bush?
Girl, you fine, but that bush is in my face.
Be like, my lawn guys are coming this week. You want me to send them over?
How was it?
Did you enjoy? Recap 2017.
Haven't we grown up?
Barely.
I'm barely grown.
But we've grown.
Barely.
We've grown as the Almost 30 Nation. We thank you guys so much for everything that you've done to make the show what it is today.
Mm-hmm.
So we will continue to bring you the best of the best this year. We're really excited to bring you more events and meetups and episodes and guests and all of the things. So what do you want to
2018 is all about you.
2018. If you haven't already, just a few plugs, especially for our newer listeners. We have a Patreon page, patreon.com/almost30. That's where you can go to donate just a few bucks to help us run this show, and you will get extra content. So we do video content, extra episodes. We also have our dad hat that we'll send you if you choose a certain level, and then just a bunch of extra stuff, and it really helps us out. So thank you in advance.
Thanks for subscribing, rating and reviewing. So subscribing means a lot. Super easy for you to get new episodes then. It's really helpful for us to get the best guests on. And then rating and reviewing is like extra mile, and it means a lot to just provide a valid reason for guests wanting to come on our podcast.
Yeah. And you can find us on Instagram at Almost 30 Podcast.
Yep.
We're super active on there.
We're
popping off. So tag us in your stories, in your Instagram posts when you're listening to episodes.
And we'll feature you.
We'll feature you on our Feature Friday. And also join our secret Facebook group. We have almost 2,000 people in there chatting every day, supporting one another, inspiring each other. I got a call from my friend Courtney the other day.
Love her.
And she just got a new job. And she's like, she literally called me like a bat out of hell. She's like, Linds, she's like, you would not believe this. Like, I manifested XYZ, which was so cute. She's like, I listened to that episode with Lacey Phillips. Like, I really took it to heart. And she's like, I got this new job. Like, honestly, like, I never would have put myself out there if it wasn't for Almost 30. Like, everyone talking about really like taking ownership of like what they really want to do, not just what everyone thinks they should do. And like, I can't thank you guys enough. And she's so excited and so happy and so like revived, you know? So things like that happen all the time and brings us to our knees. So thank you guys for sharing that. Always share in the group. We are very active in there, always responding and listening to what you have to say. So we hope you have had a wonderful start to your new year. Never too late. Start something. We will support you. Share it with us. Share it with our community. We're there for you.
We love you.
Love you. Stay tuned for recap number 2 on Thursday.